Hello, welcome back to the final episode in this tutorial on crazy quilt blocks. There, we've done, that was quite a big stitch out, that one, and no, I'm pleased with that. Using the tan or chocolatey colour emphasises these hearts and is a nice combination, I believe. Now my next colour is actually going to do like some little ladders along here and some hearts. So I'm just going to use Sulky Rayon Off-White, which is number 1071. This is probably what I use the most in white colours. I never use a bright white, but this is a nice soft one, so I use it a lot. I know that I'm just thinking about this because obviously looking at my here on the Epic, it's so easy to scroll in and out and see the pictures. Obviously we've got little leaves and rosebuds between the ladders. No, I think it'll work. It will work. It will work because the hearts are going to go on this cream bit of silk here. I've stitched out that the ladder work here, and that looks quite good. It almost looks like it's ladder fabric because I've done it in the same colour as the silk. And then we've got these 5 little hearts here, and they will have an outline put round them, which will be a dark green, so that will make them pop. Right, our next colour is going to be Light Avocado, I think this is called. It's Sulky Rayon 1209. Not available everywhere. But once I got hold of it, I was hooked. It's a gorgeous colour. I've stopped the machine here and I just wanted to go back and show you how nicely this little green heart sits because it's on that sort of beigey coloured silk. If it had been a beige coloured heart, it wouldn't have popped out so much. So getting a combination of the colours can be quite tricky. Because obviously the way I've digitized it, sometimes it will be the fact that you cannot avoid it unless you do some serious editing. Anyway, I just wanted to show you how happy I was with that. Now, when I zoom out so that the whole design is sitting here on my my Epic screen, I can see that I'm going to have another little heart down here, which will be also on the cream, one up there. And then the rest of this colourway is actually some scallop edging that goes all the way down between the ladder work there. So let's stitch that and see how it looks. I'll take it over to where it wanted to be at the bottom here. I've got a tiny bit of thread sticking up here. The temptation is to trim it, but I'm not going to. When silk is cut on the corners, on the curve like this, it can fray very easily, so it's best to leave this well alone until it's been stitched over by these tiny little rosebuds that go on that curve there, but they come later. But that's the reason I haven't trimmed that one. Obviously normally I trim my threads as I'm going, and I've just noticed a little jump stitch here which is sticking up. I'm going to trim off. So let's do the little scallops that go up each side of the ladder. Now that's stitched out really nicely, and I think it's safe to say that those edgings, little scallop ovals up each side, almost join these two bits together, and they work extremely well. I've got an awful lot of leaves now to stitch out, and I'm going to go back to my pale or my light putty for that. With the Epic, as it's got 2 spool holders on the top, I tend to, while I'm waiting for one thread to stitch out, I tend to put the next one on the spool next to it in readiness. But it's always very important to double check. I find that as you work with an embroidery, you're more likely to get careless if it's a long one and you're perhaps getting a little bit tired. But anyway, let's stitch out this one. This is quite a big one of 7,500 stitches, so I'll be back when it's finished. We've stitched out that bit now, and as you can see, this is all coming together very nicely. The next stitch, I'm going to use my dark tan chocolatey colour, or light chocolatey colour I should say, which is for the centre of the rosebuds. Obviously in the original I think they were pink, but we don't really want to introduce pink into this design. Hello, that colourway has stitched out, and as you can see here we've got a little bit more fraying than we had beforehand, which is a tiny bit worrying. Obviously when you trim fabric on the curve this is likely to happen. One way to avoid this would be to actually, when you did the fixing stitches for this fabric, would be to do them twice. That may hold it a little bit better. So that would be a good idea, but let's see how it looks when we do the other leaves, the outer leaves of this border, which I'm doing in off-white. I've stitched 3 more colours now, and as you can see I've managed to tidy up this little bit here, and it's coming together very well, I think. I'm going to stitch the next colour and then we've almost just got the butterfly to do. I'm going to use the off-white for my next colours. Having completed each of the colours in this block, overall I'm delighted with the results. The ivory coloured roses with green centres are perfect, as is the small butterfly. That's worked out very nicely. The double curve of the top of the heart on the lower left corner hides the join in the fabric where we had a little bit of a problem with fraying. As I said earlier, the only change I would have made to this stitch out would be the colour of the motif fills here each side of the heart. I would have done this side tan and the more open, for the more open one, and this dense one I would have used the green. The colours have all worked well. They've blended and they're just the right balance of the darker colour, which are the leaves here, some scroll work here and some scrolls down here, and the outline of those hearts. And it looks good alongside the other blocks that I've stitched out in this series. Those are the other 2. We got a nice combination of colours here. Too many colours can detract from the finished embroidery and preventing it blending well. Do try to avoid primary colours as they are harsh. Subtle colours go so much better together and give the finished embroidery quality and elegance. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and that it will challenge you, and that you'll soon be creating some romantic crazy quilt blocks. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.